Nintendo has finally officially revealed the Nintendo Switch 2. A sleek and stylish first trailer showed off the sleek and stylish new console, and it's a promising start for Nintendo's next bit of hardware. Overall a bigger handheld than the current Switch, the Nintendo Switch 2 is poised to be a suitable step up, especially that upgraded kickstand. Ooh. But this reveal trailer being the 2-minute wordless affair that it is, it leaves a number of crucial questions unanswered between now and the Nintendo Direct on the 2nd of April, or until we can get our hands on the device at a Nintendo Switch 2 Experience event, also in early April. While we impatiently wait until then, here are 7 most critical things we still don't know about the new Nintendo Switch 2. One major difference between the Switch and Switch 2 is the Joycons. In the Switch, the Joycons slide along the rails on either side of the screen until they click into place, giving rise to the iconic Nintendo Switch noise. The new Joy-Con design, however, seems to more simply plug in, with magnets snapping everything into place, giving the Switch 2 a different sound effect. But while the change from click to snap might be to make it less fiddly to get the Joy-Cons out, we're very keen to know just how well the magnet and port combo holds the new Joy-Cons in place, and how robust the mechanism will be over time. Going by the Nintendo website, there do seem to be triggers that you have to press to undock the Joy-Cons, but how strong and how easy to accidentally press will these be? Will the Joy-Cons slip out in a tough Dark Souls session? Will the port wear out the 100th time I vigorously snap a controller into place? Another concern we have is the Comfort Grip, which lets you turn 2 Joy-Cons into a single controller. The original Comfort Grip wraps around the sides of the Switch Joy-Cons, which is very comfortable to hold. But on the Switch 2's Comfort Grip, there appears to be a potentially not ergonomically ideal top to the controller grips, in order to allow the Joy-Cons to clip into place. We'll need to go hands-on with this thing to see if it's actually comfortable, or if it will dig into our palms like it thinks we've buried treasure in them. Talking of Joy-Cons, there was one issue that plagued these controllers: Joycon Drift. For those fortunate enough not to know what this is, it's when your analog stick malfunctions and thinks there are inputs when there are actually none, usually causing your character to start wandering off in a random direction, even when you're not touching your controller. For me personally, having lost 2 hard-working left-hand Joy-Cons to drift, I'm very invested in these newer models being far more hardy when it comes to their analog sticks. They may also have to be hardy in other ways too. The Switch 2 trailer seems to confirm earlier speculation about the Joy-Cons having mouse functionality, showing them gliding along now flat wrist strap attachments. With Nintendo's new controllers having a new size, new functionalities, and new attachment methods, we're hoping that whatever caused Joycon Drift has been properly addressed so that people don't have to keep buying new ones. That said, if people want to buy new ones, we'd sure like to know if Joy-Cons will be available in some other fun colours, because although the new ones have some splashes of colour, not every player wants an overwhelmingly grey console. The most obvious difference between the somewhat similar form of the Switch 1 and Switch 2 is the size. The Switch 2's additional chonk allows for a much larger screen, along with more internal space to, hopefully, house more power. But what extra power will it have? At this early stage, there's no official word, and the ramifications of how much RAM it's got going on are naturally huge. One ongoing issue with the OG Nintendo Switch is that, outside of less graphically intensive titles, many of this generation's big 3D games required a lot of work to distill them down so that they can run on the Switch without melting it. Many games don't bother, or Switch players end up getting special versions years later with far less fidelity. Looking at you, Witcher 3.
Witcher, I was hoping you'd come.
Despite the Switch 2 being a bigger device, it's still a very compact console overall, therefore unlikely to be as powerful as the Xbox Series X or the PlayStation 5. But we need to know what kind of punch it's packing, to gauge whether it's going to be easier for game developers to port games, and if we can maybe get a longer draw distance in Tears of the Kingdom. In the first look trailer, we were shown a sneak peek of the new Mario Kart that will be arriving on Switch 2, presumably as a launch title. And going by the starter grid, there could be up to 24 players in a single race, a real jump from the 12-player max of Mario Kart 8's online multiplayer on the original Switch. Nintendo also revealed via a still JPEG shown on screen for 8 whole seconds of the 2-minute and 22-second trailer, the Switch 2 will be backwards compatible with Switch games. This is great news for anyone who has invested in a Switch game recently, or basically ever, since Nintendo never lower their game prices even years after release. No one wants to be rebuying any of those. Beyond the new Mario Kart, Nintendo is tight-lipped as to what games may arrive on the Switch 2 at launch, or what exclusive games they have planned post-release. Zelda Tears of the Kingdom is pretty recent, as is Echoes of Wisdom. Does Nintendo feel like we need a new Smash Brothers? What's the big Mario platformer title going to be on this platform? Where the hell is Metroid Prime 4? Nintendo fans need to know. The trailer revealed that, hooray, joy of joys, the Switch 2 will indeed be coming out this year, in 2025. Oh god, how is it 2025? There's no more specific launch window than 2025, but if we were to hazard a guess, September to October would be a good time, with it being in the run-up to Christmas. However, the original Switch was revealed in October 2016 and arrived in March 2017. If Nintendo were to repeat that post-announcement timeline, we would be getting the Switch 2 in June 2025. Then you can pop outside with your new Nintendo handheld and still get some vitamin D while spending your summer weekends playing video games. Fingers crossed we'll find out in April's Nintendo Direct. The most important question about any given console isn't what chips are inside or what the game cartridges taste like. The most important question is, how much does it cost? The Switch was £279.99 on release in the UK and $299.99 in the US. We'd love it if the Switch 2 would land with a similar price point relative to inflation since 2017, which is to say about £380 or $460. This being a bigger, hopefully more powerful machine though, the price could easily, and understandably, go up. Plus, Nintendo has already said that the Switch 1, just like all of its games, will not be reduced in price even though its successor is arriving on the scene. So the Switch 2 may well end up being just a pricier, more powerful model that plays more games. Our main hope is that the Switch 2 pricing will remain significantly below that of the non-Nintendo other consoles, somewhere in the £300 to £400 range, keeping it more accessible price-wise compared to its less portable competitors. Now, it's all well and good knowing when you can get it and how much for, but you actually need to be able to find a Switch 2 in order to buy it. Around the launch of the original Switch, if you hadn't been lucky enough to bag a pre-order, Nintendo's new console was harder to track down than a chameleon in a ghillie suit. This was mainly thanks to a global chip shortage at the time. Nintendo says that the Switch 2 should not be affected by today's shortages, but they did also say that about the Switch. Plus, Nintendo was somewhat notorious for not meeting demand when it comes to making hardware. Amiibos, anyone? With Nintendo's track record, it's anyone's guess as to whether they'll make enough Switch 2s to go around. Those are the critical questions about the Switch 2 that need answering pronto. If you have a burning Switch 2 question of your own, sling it in the comments and we'll bug Nintendo for the answers. Thanks for watching, give us a like if you enjoyed this video, subscribe for more Switch 2 chat in future, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye!